Today we are going to walk through the entire process of turning a design into embroidery. This is my first real video and I have not become an expert in filming introductions yet. So I did an awful job with this intro and I decided I would rather just do a voiceover and play the little time-lapse clip from Procreate of drawing this the night before. Essentially, this entire project was based off of the idea that I wanted to create for myself. Over the years of owning my business, I feel like I was really catering my artwork towards what I thought people would like, and it kind of killed my creative drive. So anyways, this is what I came up with when I was just doodling in bed. The next morning when I woke up, I was like, whoa, that could actually be a really cool embroidery design. So today we're going to go through the entire process of how I turn my artwork into an embroidered textile. I get this question all the time on Instagram, and I truly think there's a lot more that goes into it than people realize, and I am just really excited to show you guys what goes on behind the scenes. So with that being said, we're just going to jump right into it. Alright, so here is the design. I am really fond of it. I love the stripes, I love the border. I am so excited to see this on fabric. This is an extra sweatshirt that I have lying around, so I'm just going to use this as my canvas for today. I love this style of sweatshirt. This is one of my new favorites. It's like a women's fit. It's a boxy fit. It's just the cutest thing ever, and I think this design is going to go perfectly on it. Okay, so I've got my design in Procreate. I love the colors. I love the stripes and the borders and all of the things. I send this over to my email, just like from myself, and share that to my laptop. I do this so that I can upload the artwork into my digitizing software. I use EMBROIDERED, but we will talk about that more in a little bit. Essentially, a digitizing software is how you convert artwork into a design that tells the machine how to stitch the artwork. It's a lot more complicated than I realized before I started doing it. You're mapping out every single stitch that the machine is going to do. So it's a lot of work. It takes me a long time, especially if I want a fluid design that's going to stitch really well. I am pretty picky with how I digitize my designs, but it's been a lot of years of learning how to use the software, so I am going to somewhat explain what I'm doing. Digitizing is its own rabbit hole, so we're not going to go too deep into it today. But essentially what you saw me doing was, after I got the artwork into the software, I decided that I wanted to use an 8-inch hoop, so I changed the hoop size on the software and got started on the digitizing of the borders, which are going to be applique. Outlining this little scalloped edge is definitely going to take the longest. We are making our way through. Okay, let's just chat while I do this scalloped edge. My idea here is to make these 3 layers. This tan, the green, and then this tan striped. All of that is going to be fabric. So I am digitizing this as applique. I'm using the program EMBROIDERED. There are a ton of different digitizing softwares that you can use, but at this time in my life, EMBROIDERED was the most affordable for me. I have since upgraded. I now have Stitch Artist level 3. There's 3 different levels that you can buy, level 3 being the highest, and they all have different price points. But I did start out with level 2, and I ended up just upgrading to the level 3 when I was ready for it. I personally am very fond of this software, just probably because I know it the best. There probably are easier softwares, but this just happens to be the one that I learned on and the one that I know. So if you are looking into a digitizing software, I would definitely look at EMBROIDERED, but I would also explore other options. There are a bunch that run on like a subscription service. That wasn't really my cup of tea. I would rather just outright buy the product and own it rather than paying a lifetime of subscription fees. But let's go back to talking about digitizing applique for a second. When you are digitizing applique, there has to be 3 rounds of stitching. The first one you're going to do is like a marker stitch. Maybe it's called the outline stitch, but that essentially tells you where you need to place your fabric. After you do the outline stitch, you put your fabric down, and then you do a tack down stitch. And the tack down stitch is another line stitch, and that is what tells you where to cut the fabric. You'll take the garment off of the machine, you'll cut the fabric out in the shape that it's supposed to be, and then you put it back onto the machine and it'll do the final thick satin border. Okay, we are working on the leaves. It's currently 9:52 and I would love to be done with this digitizing by 11 at the latest. I'm hoping it's way before that, honestly, because I want to start stitching, and I also do not have a striped fabric, so I haven't decided if I'm going to sew my... Hi Dougie. Slight interruption, but I have not decided if I'm going to sew my own striped fabric or if I'm going to use fabric paint and paint on fabric. I just don't really know yet, but that's okay, because we're just going with the flow of it. I just finished the leaves. It is 9:59, so it's only been 8 minutes, and I finished the leaves. I forgot to eat, and now I'm realizing it's starting to catch up to me, so I'm gonna make some breakfast. Okay, you remember that we listen and we don't judge? I'm having a taco for breakfast. This is delicious. I made them last night, and then I just fried up some fresh tortillas, and I could not be more excited about this breakfast. My grandparents' taco recipe, it is my favorite thing in the whole wide world. I could probably live off of tacos. So. I'm looking at fabric options and I can't find like the exact green that I want. I have 2 choices. I have this like sagey green, which does feel very spring, but I'm not really sure if this is like the vibe that I'm going for. And then I also have this leftover piece of a sweatshirt that I cropped. This one is way more of like an olive green. It's really pretty, so I'm not sure. And I do not have any striped fabric for the background, so I'm gonna make my own out of this. So this will be the first layer of fabric. The green, whichever I end up going with, will be the second layer of fabric, and the striped will be the third layer of fabric. The light in the studio in the mornings is just absolutely crazy. Here's what we've got. I think I am gonna go with the dark olive color. So we've got this, or we've got this. I think it's like leaning towards this one, because I really do want it to have like a spring look, and I just feel like that is so muted. Like, I'm really questioning this green. I feel like a bad person for doing this, but I think I'm gonna actually just decide to crop one of these t-shirts that I have, because I love this green, and I think that kind of brings everything together. I'm gonna crop it because why not? I love wearing cropped shirts, and then I can use the fabric for this. All right, this is going to be, I'm decided. This is the final color palette. So now we need to get stitching on this fabric.
I am going to be making my own striped fabric because I don't have any. So I'm thinking I'm gonna cut out 2-inch strips of fabric and I'm just gonna like sew the strips together. It really shouldn't take me that long because I don't need too many. I'm gonna like sew a few together and see what it's looking like, and if I think it needs to be smaller or change anything, I'll just do that. Okay, so I think 2 inches was definitely too big. I'm going to cut it down, I think, to 1.5 inches because I don't want it super thin, but I definitely don't want it this thick. I will be back with an update. I had to change into a short sleeve shirt because it was so hot, but this is what we've got. I think this is gonna be enough, but I'm just gonna actually go ahead and get the design on the machine. If it happens to not be enough after I do the outline stitch, then I can just quickly sew on a few other strips. I am going to be using my loved and trusted single needle machine. It is a Brother Persona. This machine automatically stops in between each thread color because it only has one needle. It'll just kind of be easier for my brain the first time I'm stitching this. Let's get going. Okay, this is a piece of iron-on stabilizer. It's going to help stabilize the plate on top. I'm questioning if I've ironed this enough. Whatever, here goes nothing. Okay, that didn't go very well. I should have like cut the fabric so that it laid flat on the hoop, but I did try to pull it as tight as I could, and then when I iron it, it's also gonna go even flatter, and this will all be cut out. So I'm just gonna cut and then see how it's looking. Okay, so we just finished the first 2 layers. This is what it's looking like. So freaking cute. I'm so excited to add the stripes. Oh, also it is going to be enough fabric, which is what I thought. My only complaint now, oh, well, I could still make it work. I wanted the tan to be on the edges on the side. And I think it's just because how I did the drawing. So I'm gonna try to hold the fabric in place so that that's where it ends up. I'm so excited. This is a little sketchy, but I think I might try to, what am I saying? I think I might try to iron it before I finish the stitching because I really don't want it to pucker. And I think that's the only way to prevent puckering at this point. So I'm gonna finish cutting this out and then we take it to the ironing board. I'm running over it with the lint roller to pick up extra threads. I have not done this before, so I really don't know if the iron, oh, it'll fit, okay. So thankfully I'm using an 8x8 hoop. I think that's good for now. Let's just take a moment to appreciate it before we add the rest of the embroidery. I'm really happy. Okay, we are officially done with the applique portion. I absolutely love how it looks up. I do want to clean up some straight threads, but I'm just going to go ahead and embroider the rest of the design, and then I will clean everything up at the end. Took a little break to take the dogs outside and just get some sunshine, and I let it stitch while I was gone. You guys, it looks so good. I'm really excited about this. All right, I'll show you. So cute. Can't wait for it to be done. All right, you guys, it just ended. A ton of jump stitches to cut. I think maybe I need to look at it in better light because I'm not like head over heels in love with it like I thought I would be, which is fine. Especially with this being the first one that I stitched. I think there's just like so many colors. I don't know. I really don't know my feelings on it. I need to clean it up and then we can discuss. So okay, so these little lines of thread are jump stitches. I just turned them off on my machine because I knew there were a bunch of them, and it like drastically increases the time of a design, like the stitch time. So for example, I have my fungi foliage design. If I let the machine cut in between each place, it takes about 75 minutes to stitch on the machine. And if I turn the jump stitches off and just cut them myself, like I'm doing here, it takes like 57 minutes to stitch. 3 to 5 minutes that it takes me to cut jump stitches is worth it, in my opinion, to be able to get another item on the machine. This design has a lot of jump stitches because when I was digitizing this, I was just trying to get it done as quickly as possible. I'm feeling so much better about it now that I've cleaned it up. I think it is the cutest thing ever. And now we just need to add one of my tags to it, and it's complete. Okay, so I'm sewing a pair of pants and I'm using a green thread. So don't judge me, you guys. I just, the bobbin thread is white, okay? So it'll match the sweatshirt, but I just didn't even change the top thread, so it's green. I think it adds a little personal touch, you know? Officially complete, and I think it's time to try it on and see what it looks like. Starling. My camera will not focus, but this is I think that's a wrap. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and making this sweatshirt with me. I hope you learned something or just enjoyed following the process of how I create my sweatshirts. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. What colors would you use? What would you have done differently? I want to hear what you're thinking. Thanks so much for being here and hanging out. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon.